Supreme Court Justices Sonia Sotomayor and Neil Gorsuch have some reservations about the court's ruling. Justice Gorsuch said he wanted to have more time to make a decision. He believes the president and Congress made a dramatic choice, but was persuaded by the argument that China could access vast troves of personal information about tens of millions of Americans. Joining me now to discuss the legal implications of all of this ban is trial attorney and legal analyst Misty Marris. I'm so glad that you're here in studio with us today. Welcome to you on News Nation Live.
Oh, yes, thank you. Always happy to be here.
I know. This is so fun. Well, okay, so this law about the TikTok content creators, that's something a lot of people are talking about. How do you read down what we are looking at right now? Because a lot of people are confused about what it all means for them.
Absolutely, because it's going to directly impact them depending on what happens with this TikTok ban. So there's a couple of things that could happen right now. And realistically, it looks like Trump is going to find a way to stop enforcement of this law, at least put a pin in it for a period of time. And there's different legal mechanisms that he could go about that. But even if he were to do that, there's still a problem from a legal perspective when it comes to Apple or Google or Oracle, who are hosting the TikTok platform, meaning there are such incredibly high fines and penalties that could be imposed for allowing the TikTok application to be available. And because of that, even if enforcement is paused, it doesn't mean that one day when it does go into effect that they won't be doing a look back window and saying, well, you violated the law for this period of time to the tune of millions and millions and millions of dollars. So that's the incentive for, regardless, and we saw that letter where they said we need clarity on whether or not there will be fines and penalties. That's what they're asking for, because even a pause doesn't necessarily mean they're out of the water as far as legal liability.
Yeah, and then you've got lawyers for the TikTok content creators who are urging the White House and the Justice Department to, quote, pause enforcement until there is further definitive guidance. That's the language we want to talk about to the app stores like, as you mentioned, Apple and Google. So we know that presidential executive order can save the app, but is there any legal paths left aside from that? Are there other paths that we should be looking at?
So it's really important to remember that this was a law passed by Congress, signed into law. So it is in effect. It's on the books. The question was, when does it become effective? When is it active? And that is 12:01 a.m. later, tomorrow morning. And so the question is, what is the new administration going to do? So the Biden administration says we're not going to enforce it in the one-day difference between when he's president and President-elect Trump takes over. There's a 90-day window written into the law which allows Trump to pause this going into effect for 90 days. If they can show, ByteDance can show, they're in the process of the divestiture. So we don't know what that might look like, because it will be up to Trump to say whatever they're doing behind the scenes is adequate. Then we have the avenue of executive order, which could also speak to that point. Then there's also the other piece of this, which is there legal wrangling going on behind the scenes at ByteDance between the companies to kind of move entities around? What do those documents look like? And could Trump ultimately determine that whatever that is sufficient to fulfill the obligations under the law to allow TikTok to continue on?
Yeah, when we take a look at the potential new owner of this and what they may have to face with this is another big question.
Absolutely, because there's still a degree of regulation. What does that mean as far as the corporate entities are concerned? There's so many uncertainties, and that's why the creators, if it sounds like if there isn't clarity, that it will go dark, no one will be able to download it. People that have the app will still have it on their phone, but it will be buggy and it will be problematic, and it's not going to update, so it will effectively be useless at a certain point.
I've only got 20 seconds left, but real quick, parents have been asking the question, well, my kid uses it, likes it, but what's the danger to the children? Is it because the microphones and the cameras are allegedly being accessed, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And that's something that parents should know.
Oh, for sure. The microphone, on all of that. And it speaks to that national security concern that the Supreme Court actually found that outweighed the First Amendment concerns.
All right, Misty Marris will be watching it along with you. Thank you so much for being here today. We appreciate it.
Thank you.